Hello, piano players. Happy New Year 2026, everyone. How are you doing? How's your practice going? Have you started yet? Tell me everything in the comments. This is part of my diary for myself. So this is going to be a very long video, a lot of talking. So if you're not interested, I can totally understand it. But it's more like for me so that I can watch it back next year and see, did I do my piano resolutions or not? So every year I make piano resolutions. So I think a little bit about what I want to learn, how I can accomplish that. And then I write it down. And at the end of the year, like now, I will have a look back and see if I did what I wanted to, what else that probably I did, and if I didn't do things, why it didn't work out. So just a little bit evaluation so that I can adjust and improve my learning process. And I can highly recommend that because it makes you a little bit more stick to your goals and not just do something and then not succeed. Last year, I think I accomplished all of my piano resolutions. And I think the reason was because I broke them down monthly. So I made them for the year. And then every month I had a look at where I am. Am I still in schedule or not? And do I have to adjust? Is it still what I want to accomplish, or have my goals changed over the past months? So I reevaluate it monthly. And in 2025, I didn't do that. I made my resolutions for the year, and then I still could remember them till I think April approximately, and then I forgot that there were piano resolutions until November. And then I had to look at them and realize, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. So many things that I didn't do because so many other things interfered or were more interesting for me, and I just lost track. So many of the resolutions I didn't do, and probably this is a hint for me to be a little bit more strict, a little bit more precise, and reevaluate at least, probably not monthly, but at least maybe every 2 or 3 months. Just have a look where I am in the schedule and if it's still what I want or not. Well, let's have a look at what I wanted to do, what I didn't do, what I did do, and if I didn't do things, why, and if it bothers me or not. So the first thing was I wanted to include transposition to my practice because I thought that when you transpose, you get a little bit of a better idea of how key centers work, how a structure in a scale is, and about the degrees in a scale and in a key. And although it sounds very reasonable to me, and I still think this is a good idea to do, I started it, then I lost interest, and then I didn't do it. And even in November, when I realized that I hadn't done it, I just didn't have any wish to proceed with it because it is boring. I felt like this takes away a lot of practice time, and it's a boring part of practice. I will not continue and try and put it on my resolution list for next year. Similar thing to the scales. So I wanted to do, because I thought technique is important, so I wanted to do all the scales till ABRSM grade 4, which is scales up to 5 accidentals and arpeggios and cadences. And I thought, okay, if I do the scale, then I can also add the pentatonic scale in that key and the blues scale and the 2-5-1s to get a little bit more idea of jazz. And I didn't do it simply because I didn't do the scales. So I started with the easy scales like C, G, F, whatever. So I did some of them, but not all. And then I just got bored. Probably mainly because I think you never have really scales in your pieces, not for 2 octaves. So you probably have a stretch in one hand, but you do not have 2 hand scales, contrary motion or something like that. And if you have, if there is a piece where that skill is required, then I can practice that skill when I need it and not beforehand. If I have a piece where things are required, then I will do the exercises for that special key and piece, but not practice F sharp major in contrary motion. What for? I don't know. Same goes for octatonic scales. So last year I thought that I probably would want to play a little bit more jazz and get an idea of it, although I hate jazz. I think the reason why I want to get an idea of jazz probably is that in my brain, jazz is always connected with playing freely at the piano. So what I really want is to be able to play freely at the piano. And to me, jazz is like the vehicle for that. So I listened a lot to jazz, although I don't like the music, because I thought, well, probably I get the hang of it. And what I realized is that there is a part of jazz that I really like ragtime, and I like some blues stuff, and the older jazz, which is very melodic, which you find a lot in like Disney movies and old movies. This one I really like. And there is the jazzy jazz where you just have a saxophone playing scales up and down like crazy, which I really hate. So I realized that I need something with the very clear melody, something that you can still have in your ear, something with a very clear tonal center. It can be very dissonant. I really like dissonances, but I need them to be resolved. If it's just noodling up and down a scale, you lose my interest. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time on trying to get a hang on jazz, but I didn't succeed very much. But it's okay. It's new information, something I learned about myself, about my goals, about what I really want to be able to do. And still I have the wish to be able to play freely at the piano. But probably I should try this more with easier things and not like a sharp 11, flat 13, whatever chord. Probably go a little bit more towards pop, a little bit jazzed up, but not too much. Maybe that helps. I did the chromatic scale, and also with the scales I did like C, G, F, A, D, E, so the basic things I did them, but not in contrary motion. Then I wanted to master or record 2 older pieces that I had spent a lot of time with in the past years, but I couldn't finish them because they felt too difficult or because they felt like I need 3 or 4 or 5 months for them, and then I got bored and I put them aside a little bit. I finished. I recorded Sonata Facile first movement, and I'm kind of like pleased with it. It's okay. There are still so many things that could be better, but I'm fine with it. And I think it's going to be a piece that I will revisit every year maybe, because I really like it. It's fun, but I don't want to spend more than 4 or 6 weeks with it. And then I'm done and just see how it goes then. But it was the only piece. So I forgot about this goal, this resolution. And also there were so many other pieces I got by my teachers that I didn't have the time for that. And in November, I realized, okay, there was this resolution. So let's have a look if there is an easy piece maybe that I still could do again. And I had a look at River Flows in You and realized that I cannot play anything. It's totally forgotten. Everything is forgotten. So I think 2 or 3 years ago, I could play it okay-ish, slowly, but all the right notes. And now it's all forgotten. It feels like I need at least 2 weeks to relearn it. And I just didn't want to do that. So, but it's fine. Then I wanted to learn a new Greek piece and thought about Arietta. And I started it and I spent at least 2 months on it, probably even more. And I'm still not pleased enough. So I didn't do a recording because I still see things that I want to work on, especially in shaping the tone and the voices. But I can play all notes. So I give it a yes because I spent time on it and I could actually play it. I just don't want to record it yet, but there will for sure be a recording next year somewhere. At the moment it's on hold, so I put it aside a little bit because I spent so much time on it. But it's a beautiful piece and it's fun, and I think it needs some time to rest, and that it will get better and better, and just it needs time to shape and develop. But it's beautiful, so I give it a yes. I also had on my bucket list to learn another Bach invention, not because I love Bach, but because Bach is so important. It teaches you so much. So it's really helpful to learn Bach pieces. I didn't have time for a Bach invention because at the moment I have 2 teachers, and the one teacher did other pieces with me, and the second teacher is only for technique. And it just felt too much because the inventions are difficult for me to learn, and I was so overwhelmed with all the other stuff. But I did 2 Bach preludes, and I started a Bach minuet at a grade 5 level, which is so difficult, so I couldn't finish it. because Baroque pieces, a grade 4 or 5 already challenged me so much. So for me, Baroque always feels like it's at least 3 grades more difficult than a romantic piece. I'm so much better at romantic music. But it's okay. So I spent time with Bach, but I didn't learn a Bach invention. For next year, my teacher wants me to learn Bach Invention number 13, which is an A minor, and it's a grade 6. I'm really scared. I do not know if I have the time for it, but I will try at least. I had a short glimpse on it, and it really looks so difficult. But let's see how it goes. It can teach me a lot, but I didn't succeed in that resolution. I did not learn a Bach Invention, although I learned Bach pieces. Then I wanted to play one of my own compositions. I did that. I learned about Lucas, the accompaniment, and I even played it with a violin because it's a duet. And I attended a summer camp, and there was somebody who played the violin, and so I could play the piano part, and he played the violin. So I did that, and I also did a recording with me playing the violin sound on my digital piano, which sounds horrible, but it's just for me, so I can say, yeah, I did it, I learned the piece. And then the big thing for years that I want to build a repertoire. I want to have pieces that I can play, so whenever there's a public piano, I want to sit there and I want to play a piece. And so I thought, okay, let's learn 10 easy pieces, 10 of my older pieces that are easy, that are around grade 2 or grade 3, can't be so difficult because I had them memorized all and I just need to repeat them to keep them alive. No, I learned that I don't do this. My brain doesn't work like that. My brain gets bored. I have ADHD. I get bored easily. I do not want to repeat the same pieces over and over and over again. So I think till April, I had like 4 or 5 repertoire pieces. And then I stopped playing them for 3 or 4 weeks and they were gone again. So I could have restarted again. And it's so frustrating. It is boring. It is really tedious. I didn't want to do it. And I accept that I do not have a repertoire. At the moment, I have one piece, Gnossian 1 by Satie. And I don't even have it on point. So I know it has 3 parts and I can mix those parts randomly. So I just play them in any order. And it sounds beautiful. Everybody thinks I can play the piece. It's not how it's written on the score, but it's okay. It sounds nice. So there is something I can play when there is a piano, but it's this one and only piece. It is a little bit frustrating when you've been playing for 6.5 years, like I do, not to be able to play in public, but that's the way it is. And I have more fun practicing pieces than being able to play those pieces. This is how my brain works, and I have to accept it. I wanted to compose 6 pieces. I did 2.5, mainly because I forgot that I wanted to compose something. And when I realized it in end of November, there was not time enough to compose 5 more pieces. But it's okay. Then I aimed for a piano marvel César score, so sight reading. Well, my wish was to get up to 700. I think last year I hit the 650 mark several times, but it didn't feel stable. So it felt like sometimes I'm under it, sometimes I'm over it. But it's not that every time I can rely on having 650. So 650 was my bare minimum for this year. And now I'm at a stable 680 approximately. And I think I came over 700 around 10 or 11 times, which is really gorgeous. So it is okay. Although I had hoped that 700 would be a little bit more secure. So for next year, I definitely want to be over 700 each time and aim for 720, because sight reading is one of the limiting factors for me to learn pieces or to bring pieces up to tempo, especially because there are pieces that I want to learn that are not so diatonic, that have a lot of chromaticism in there. And if I cannot read fast enough, I cannot learn them, I cannot memorize them because they don't make sense to me enough to memorize what's happening. So I need to be able to read it and to read it quickly if I want to bring the piece up to tempo. And so sight reading is the construction side, the big one still. It will always be, I think. Also, I'm a little bit frustrated because I've been playing for 6.5 years and I still cannot sit there, take a grade 1 piece and just play it from score. There's so many grade 1 pieces. I can play through them slowly, but not at the tempo they require. I still have to practice and to learn them. And I just want to be able to, grab some easy scores and just play music. So yeah, well, I think it will still take at least 3-4 more years. I don't know. So tell me, how does sight reading go for you? How is your skill and how did you improve? If you can sight read well, if you can just pick something and play, how did you learn it? Because I rely on reading intervals. I sight read almost every day, so I really spend a lot of time on training that skill. And still the progress, it is there, but it is so slow. It's so slow. Okay. Then I wanted to do Piano Marvel technique and method sections and get 40 new 100% stars. I accomplished that, yes, I did. I wanted to finish the 40 pieces challenge with pieces over grade 2. So at least grade 2 or more. And I did, there were 2 pieces that I would rate a grade 1. But the one piece that I counted in was a piece that I played in a band combo context. So for me, this was very challenging. And so although what I did is only grade 1, the context for me makes it at least like a grade 20. Because I felt so challenged. And so for me, this is really, it's okay, it feels fine. And the second one is a piece I will link here, because I played the piece and it was quite easy, but then I added ukulele, a flute, some little bells and percussion and a cajon and whatever. So a glockenspiel even. So I made myself a whole one-woman band combo. It was a really lovely experience. It was amazing to try this and to realize that it works. I did many things wrong. So I had to re-record so many things because I thought that if I just have a metronome click and I sing my voice and then I play the piano and then I play whatever other instrument and then I layer them, that it will fit. And then I realized, no, it doesn't. We are all in the same timing, but slightly a little bit off, so it doesn't sound like one combo playing together. So I had to redo so many things, and it was just trial and error. I learned so much, and I learned how much fun it is to just make music, and that things can be easy. So if you add up many easy things together, they give a huge, wonderful combination of gorgeous music. So so for me, the 40 pieces challenge definitely is a tick, and I will continue with this because it's just amazing. And if you don't know about it, Google it, 40 pieces challenge. It is so valuable. It is intended to be doable. So you pick your own difficulty. If you cannot make it, your pieces were too difficult. Pick very easy pieces, at least 2 grades or even more under your current level. It is intended to just get you into playing music, just into having fun, learning one piece a week and then continue. And it's so beneficial. I want to do the full 30 days blues course and the 30 days jazz course on piano. I came till day 24 in the jazz course and day 15 in the blues course. Mainly because I forgot about it, not because I didn't have the time. There were so many other things I did, and I didn't have a look at my resolutions, so it was out of my mind. The big topic last year for me was technique, so I wanted to rebuild my technique and get better. And I'm enrolled in an online course, a video course. So on my resolution list, there was like do that many videos and learn these pieces in the course. Over the year, I got myself a technique teacher. So I continued doing technique with that teacher and not with the online course. So definitely a tick for technique improvement and also for ear training. I trained a lot with an app. So first I did my interval recognition training, and since October I'm enrolled in the local conservatory as a guest listener, and I take ear training class there, which shows me how much I don't know and cannot do yet, but it also gives me a guideline of what I should be working on, and so I practice a lot in between the lessons. Then I wanted to play at least once in front of an audience or in a recital situation. And I did that because I went to a master class setting by accident, actually. So I thought it's just a lecture. I thought they just will be talking a little bit about how to produce nice tone. And then I had to play suddenly. And I was just totally scared. But I played there, and I played in a summer camp in a recital situation, a solo piece and in the band combo. And also, I think twice or three times at an open piano, which was in an underground station or just standing somewhere. So definitely, I'm still scared to death when I have to play something, but it gets a little better. And I just need to continue and do it more. Also, we had a practice group on Zoom. Just some piano learners decided to meet and play for each other to overcome this anxiety of playing and performing something. And we did that, I think, twice or three times. So yes, definitely I trained that. And then I wanted to learn one jazz standard, so we're back to jazz again, from lead sheet and be able to improvise on it. And I kind of like give it a yes, because I worked on Autumn Leaves several times, and actually I can play the chords and I can play the melody to it, but it sounds more like pop or something. So it doesn't really sound jazzy, and also my improvisation is very shy. It's a bit boring. I can play pentatonic or I can play in a scale, but it's just one melody line, then improvise a little bit, and sometimes then my left hand trips the right hand, or vice versa. So if I were in a band combo context, I wouldn't destroy the overall music, so it would sound okay-ish and nobody would really realize that I cannot play the piano. But for solo piano jazz rendition, this is not enough. But it's a start. And again, I realized that probably jazz is not my thing to do in life. Don't know. Yeah, many things that I did not do, especially the technical scale stuff, but also a lot of things that I did do, and the realization that I need to break down my resolutions more. I reevaluate over the year, because otherwise I forget them, and that sometimes you do too many things probably, or your resolutions are too big, or that you change them over the year because you realize that this is not the way that helps you achieve your goals. So probably either your interests change, or you realize, okay, this is not the way how I learn. I need a different approach, and then it's nice to do something else. I also want to mention many nice things that I did last year, so that I don't forget them. Because they helped me grow as a musician, and they were so valuable for me. So one thing was this masterclass setting. It was at a local fair, so it just cost 20 euros. So I thought, okay, for 20 euros, they will just be talking about something, and there's nice information, I can write it down. And then it turned out that this is really a masterclass. So she's spending 30 minutes on each participant and telling them how to improve their playing. Yeah, my whole body was shaking when it was my turn, because all the other pianists there, they were so good. They were conservatory master degree students. And there was a 9-year-old but Russian trained boy who was really awesome. And then there was me, the total beginner. But she was so kind. She had great advice for me, and it was so beneficial. So I think I will go there again if it is next year, but then a little bit more prepared, so have a piece that I know a little bit better and that she can work on with me. And this little boy who was there, he played so beautifully, and it turned out he's from my city. So I asked him what his teacher was and contacted his teacher. And now I'm taking technique lessons with her, in addition to my regular teacher, mostly because I really like my regular teacher. He's just bringing me joy. It's playing piano for joy. And this other teacher, she's Russian. She's very strict. She's like a little dominatrix sometimes, and she's brutally honest. So it's awesome to take classes with her because her advice is so on point, but it's also sometimes like she's slapping her fist into my face because she's so brutally honest. Everything she says is on point, it is right, but it is not intended to be like telling me how beautiful I play. So most of the time she just tells me how horrible I play. But then sometimes when she's saying nice things, they have a lot bigger impact on me, because when she's saying something nice, it is also very, very true. And then I know, okay, did it right. So I love both of my teachers and I'm very grateful I have them. Although this is kind of like double workload now. And I do a lot of technique exercises like journey etudes, and we can spend 6 weeks on a journey etude, which is grade 2. So this took away a lot of my practice time and brought me a little bit into trouble with the 40 pieces challenge also, because I thought I'd just progress through the pieces a lot quicker. But I definitely will continue that. And the second thing was the piano summer camp I mentioned. So I went to Wales for 2 weeks. It was a music camp, not a piano camp, a music camp. So a lot of other musicians, saxes and violins and other stuff, clarinets. And I found this very interesting because you get an idea of what difficulties and struggles and also approaches other musicians have. So you learn a lot more about music itself, about how you can shape music, what you can do with music, and not just think in your piano box, which was very beneficial. And I had enrolled in jazz there, so I was playing in the combo. Unfortunately, they didn't have time enough to explain jazz to a classical pianist. So I had to figure out many things by myself so that I wasn't disturbing the band. But in the end, after a lot of struggle, so during the first week, I really felt so overwhelmed and just very confused and thought I couldn't do it. And then by the end of the second week, we had a recital and it went so well. And I felt so proud because I could take part in it and just find my way. And it was the first time for a very, very long time that I played music together with other people. And it just felt great because it was making music and not just sitting in a practice room and doing things right or wrong. It was just doing something and just going with the flow and just feeling it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it also took away some of my anxiety of performing and also kind of reset my mindset from what we classical pianists always encounter is this is wrong, this is right. And if you're doing wrong, you need to practice until you get it right. And so you are so afraid of making mistakes because everybody keeps telling you wrong, 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 wrong all the way. And making music in a band context is just like, okay, that was not so well, but the others played right, so people didn't notice it. So you do not have to rely on yourself only, but there's other people. They go with the flow as well. And I realized that if I was afraid to do something, I just didn't do anything. So when I knew I wasn't sure which chord it is now, I just played nothing until I knew where I was in the music again. And nobody noticed because there's so many other instruments and they play something. So if you have 2 bars with no piano, nobody realizes it. And that's just fine. So it took away a lot of anxiety and showed me that making music just can be fun. Yeah, and then the most important thing I think was, well, first getting this technique teacher. And the third thing, after this music camp where I also felt a little bit lost because those were all teenagers and I was the only adult and they didn't include me in the group really. So they were just ignoring me. Very not well-behaved teenagers and children, I have to say. So I felt a little bit lonely there, but I realized how lovely it is to make music and learn more about music. And suddenly the idea popped up in my mind to ask at the local conservatory if they could take guest listeners. And they said yes. And so during the winter semester, which started in October, I enrolled in several classes at the conservatory. So I'm now taking music theory class, ear training, sight singing, music history. I'm enrolled in the choir, so I sing a lot and I train my ear a lot and I learn a lot. And also things that I learned is like I'm not as bad as I think. So I'm bad at playing. I do not have the playing level they have. I could never pass the entry exams there. But I am enrolled in the music theory class where we do 4-part harmony in Baroque style with figured bass. And I can do it. I can do the homework and get it corrected. And I'm at the same level as everyone else. So it shows me that all those YouTube videos I've been watching over the past years really had an impact and they work. And I learned a lot and it's so much fun. It feels like solving Sudoku riddles. I do not know why you need it. You don't need 4-part harmony, figured bass, writing down for being able to play piano. But for me, it is fun. And if it's fun, it's right. So even if I learn something that I will never need for making music, obviously theory is something that brings me joy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be beneficial for my practical music making. Something I learned, and that's great, and I definitely want to continue with this. Also, I sang a lot more. During the summer camp, we had to sing in the choir, and I also was in a jazz vocal ensemble, and I realized that, okay, so I don't know a lot about my singing voice. I'm not even sure if I sing right or nicely, but it's fun. I want to continue with that. And so now in the conservatory choir, I have a lot of fun. I have to sing in harmony because I'm an alto voice. So it's really challenging. I practice a lot to find my right notes. It's so difficult, but also when it starts getting better and you hear your harmony quicker and you're not getting so much distracted by the other voices anymore, it just brings so much joy. It's really cool. And January 3rd, I attended a workshop for 4 days and I had to sing the lower harmony. And it was just like a roller coaster up and down. So on day 2, I didn't even find my starting note. It was horrible. And I felt so embarrassed and it was terrible. And at the end recital, I sang the harmony and a lot of people came and said, wow, this harmony singing was so beautiful. And I felt so relieved. It was so cool. It was such a nice experience. Also to experience that sometimes things go terribly wrong. But when you spend the time and the effort and really practice a lot, that it will get better and that you will improve and you can make it. So yes, I'm so excited of what 2026 will bring. I have my piano resolutions for next year here and I'll read them just to, make sure that they are on tape. So I cannot change them next year and tell you I did everything. So still I want to play 2 jazz standards, at least work on them a little bit to see if I can make it. So probably still Autumn Leaves and maybe Fly Me to the Moon are some easier ones that are in a key that are not modal. And I also have a jazz learning book by Tim Richards, and he has some nice pieces in there which are written score, and then you are advised how you can do some improvisation parts in them. So I would like to do that, just get into more free improvisational playing. Then we have this Bach Invention number 13. I will at least start it and I want to spend 6 weeks on it and then see wherever I land. So I think I will not be able to finish it because it's a grade 6. It's too difficult, but I can work on it. I want to revisit Gnossian number 6 by Eric Satie, which is very chromatic, and just see if I can bring it up to more tempo now that my sight reading has hopefully improved a little bit. So because I have a recording of it, but it's so slow. And I couldn't bring it up to tempo because I couldn't read quick enough. So maybe I can get it a little bit better. Then my teacher gave me Debbie's Waltz, which is a nice jazz piece with a score. So it could be a bridge between classical playing and jazz playing, but it's also so difficult. So I think doing all these pieces might be a little bit too much. Also, I wanted to revisit the Chopin Waltz 34 number 2 again. And this is also a very big piece. I could play it kind of fish. So part A was nice and part B was difficult. And then I quit it. but still, I think I would have to work at least 4, 6, or 8 weeks on that. So I'm not sure if I have too many pieces for next year. And also on my wish list, but then I do it next year or the year after next year, is a Bethina by Scott Joplin, because it's such a beautiful ragtime waltz. I really want to be able to play it one day. It's so beautiful, but also I think it will be a lot of work. For my repertoire, I want to add 2 more pieces to the Gnossienne number 1, which is Une Larme by Mussorgsky and Waltz in B minor by Schubert, because they both have like part A, part B. So if you know those 2 parts, they are repeated, so it's not too much to memorize. It's not too difficult. I just have to do it again. But I like those pieces very much, so probably I can keep them alive. I'll just have a look. I want to do the 40 pieces challenge again, and I will aim for at least 25 pieces at grade 3 or higher, but it depends on how much time my actual pieces will take. So my repertoire pieces for the lessons. So if I do not have enough time, then I have to go back to grade 2 again. But we'll see how it goes. I would like to compose 4 pieces. Maybe I can do it, maybe not. Just see if creativity strikes me or not. And get a Piano Marvel Sasser score of 720 stable. Want to play in public again twice, at least. And do more ear training. So the topic for 2027 will be ear training. Last year it was technique, and the year before it was sight reading. So this year my main focus will be ear training. So I want to sing chords more. I want to do exercises on tiaria.com and on my ear trainer app, and also attend the ear training classes at the conservatory. What I realized is that singing things loud definitely trains your ear a lot better than if you do it just silently in your head. So I thought if I can hear it and realize it and think about it, it's enough. No, it is not. Sing it out loud. It is so much more beneficial. It's just my tip for you. Even if you cannot sing, even if you sing not really right, or it sounds horrible, it doesn't matter. But just do it physically loud so that your vocal folds vibrate. It gets into your body a lot more, and I don't know how it does it, but it will definitely train your ear a lot better. And then I have bought on eBay I bought 3 books which are called A Dozen a Day. It's basic warm-up exercises, but they seem to be fun and a lot more interesting than those Hanan exercises, and I just want to play through these 3 books. They are really easy books, nothing difficult. I just have it on my bucket list to have played all the exercises at least once throughout the year. Also, I want to sing more, not only for ear training, but also just sing more and develop my voice a little bit more, or probably play the flute a little bit more. So just get more into music making and not only practicing. And in the conservatory, we have learned a concept which is called the rule of the octave, which is how do you harmonize a scale, especially in Baroque and classical music. And it's a concept that shows you, okay, if you do it like this, it will definitely work and have nice voice leading. And we did it in the key of C major and A minor, and I want to apply this concept to other keys as well, at least G and F, and up to 2 or 3 accidentals. It uses patterns that are used in classical and Baroque music all the time. You will find these shapes all the time. So if you can do it a little bit more securely, and if you also can hear on which scale degree you are, I think you will pick the right notes or the right hand shape a lot more by instinct, because you know where you are, and so it can, I think, compensate bad sight reading maybe and also help you not to glitch so much. And this is also why I want to do more ear training, because I think if my ear is better trained, so if I, for instance, hear that this is a major sound and my ear is trained and developed, then I will not feel the urge to play a minor third somewhere, because I know this is major, so a minor third is not part of the chord here. And so yeah, I think I can reduce some glitches, some errors, or at least glitch more intelligently so that probably the audience won't hear it because it's still in the right harmony. These are my resolutions. Let's see how it goes. Tell me how your practice is going, what your resolutions are. Yeah, what do you have in mind for 2026? What do you want to achieve? Let's get in contact and just talk a little bit more about music and piano. Happy 2026!